Okay, so this is to appreciate this vehicle that I'm driving, which is mine, and that is Peugeot 46. This is stick shift. No, so this car has really surprised me. I mean, going to be honest, I wasn't expecting it was going to be this reliable and durable. Before I got the car and when I got the car, I mean, you gotta understand what I'm saying when you actually go online to read some of the things people talk about Peugeot 46 VCs. Not just Peugeot 46, I mean VCs, and generally 46 as well. You know, people say all kinds of things. Well, I'm not here to get into that, but you know, I just couldn't help. This morning I woke up and I was about to get into the car and it just hit me. It's actually 21 years old vehicle that have been driven very, very hard and harshly most of the time. I mean, come on, if you see me, if you are in the car while I do fun drive, you understand what I mean. If you ever see me on the road, on my usual fun drive, you understand what I mean. I mean, I don't pamper this car when it comes to, when I mean pamper, I'm not saying that that I don't pamper. It means when I come to bad road, when I mean bad road, I'm talking about rough road, potholes, bumps, that I speed on them. No, I don't. In fact, I crawl. Once I get into such road conditions, I crawl. But once I enter the road smooth enough to actually put this particular car to perform as designed, no, I don't pamper it. I don't. Never have I done that. I don't. Even when I set out not to do a fun drive, just to drive normal, I end up doing it. You know, I mean, the temptation can be that big as a push. I mean, it's difficult to resist. I mean, if you've owned a 46 V6 stick shift or manual, you understand. So, you know, what I mean by that, this car really surprised me is, you know, I started thinking. I know I mentioned something like this before, but I was not thinking. I couldn't believe that more than 90%, yes, more than 90% of the electrical components of this car are still the ones that the car came with from new. I'm serious. I'm serious. Talking about more than 90. Now, I may not say 90, maybe 98, 97, no. Maybe a little bit less than 95. But at least I know for a fact it's above 90, or at least leave it at 90. I mean, where do I even start? This car, when I got this car, it came with a logbook. So every work that was done, at least, because it showed the person, even when the person takes the car, the previous owner took the car for scanning. All the scan report, everything, he put it together and sold the car with them. The receipt, where he did the scan work, everything, even the scan report, everything he did was on the book. All the receipt, I mean, whoever used this car, I don't know, it could be more than one person. You know, the person really took care of this car. So when I got the vehicle, I continue on the same I continue the same culture. So that's what I mean. I know what at least 95% of parts that were replaced or whatever that was done on this car before it got to me. So that's what I mean by 90% on the above of electrical component. Yeah, this is a component people who are bitching about online on 406, are doing on Peugeot 406. Electrical, there is a nightmare, this and that. Yeah, so I will tell you, once the car hit 100,000 kilometers, everything that has to do with electrical will just crash. The car is a nightmare, run away. Ooh. The funny part is, I always can remember that even fuse, not even a single fuse. This car has how many fuse boxes? One in the engine bay, one under the steering, and the PSI unit, like 2 under the steering wheel. So if you said PSI unit is partially fuse box, and there, because there are some fuse boxes, there are some fuses attached on it, so you could consider it a fuse box, even though it's more than that. So I mean, I don't know, the radio, not everything still works. The display, instrument panel, the key, even the remote control, 21 years after, everything, as in, I just remember the other day that I've never even touched any of the rear lights, not even a single bulb. I've not touched any of the rear bulb. The front one, yeah, I would say I've replaced, because it has daytime running lights, so the beam lights, I know I've replaced it a few times, maybe like 6 times. Now I'm talking about, the 2 of them, as maybe this one may fail 1 year after. The first time it failed, I went and bought all this fake new one. I didn't know the way you couldn't. If I didn't even, I had to change up to 3 times before I realized that the reason why it kept blowing up was because they were not original. So I started buying used ones. Then it started lasting more than a year before one would fail. In fact, last time I even changed this bulb, maybe like 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. I don't even remember. So that's why I say I'm not sure I'm changing more than 6 times. So even maybe the half of the time, maybe the 3 that I changed was when I was buying new one. Put 1 week later to blow up, a month thereabout. So I mean, so imagine then, what is it that people talk about? I know, like I said, I'm not really here to talk about all those negative people talk about it. This car is so good. It's so good. Now you might say, well, is it the best Peugeot car ever produced? Maybe not. Don't think so. Don't think. Is it the best performance car ever produced? Nope. Is it the most fun car Peugeot ever produced? Nope. Is this the best road handling car? Nope. In fact, in terms of road handling, it's not even, you can't even compare it to performance. It's not even, in fact, even you classify it as a performance car. If you are talking about road handling, it just has a normal suspension. Good, but not for performance, not basically a performance suspension. But it's good. It does its own handling. But you have to be good behind the steering wheel to actually push this car, push it harsh, and be able to control the vehicle. That's what I mean. Yeah. So it's a very good car. I mean, even the ABS sensors stay intact. The downstream oxygen sensors stay intact. The only thing I've changed was the upstream. What else? When I mean electrical car, see, I'm talking about both the engine sensors, everything, fuel pump, everything. That's what I mean. So I'm not talking about just the bulb, the radio. No, I mean everything that is electrical on this vehicle. About over 90% of them are still here. that the car was produced from new, they are still here. On this vehicle running. ECUs, BSI, everything intact. You know, you might say, okay, it's 21 years old, but probably it's not being used often. Seriously, you know, when I got this car, the speedometer was not working. It wasn't working. You know, so I didn't even change it immediately. You know, because when I got the car, my concern then was the timing kit, timing belt. I will say the belt because getting the new kit, complete kit, is not available in Nigeria. So I started with the belt. So that was my focus there. So it was after some while that I now dealt with the sensor that controls the speedometer. You know, the vehicle speed sensor mounted on the gearbox. So, in other words, I wouldn't even know how many mileage the car has covered before I even got the car. Not just what is there, because of course, if the sensor that controls the speedometer is not working, the mileage stopped reading, the speedometer stopped reading. So you could understand what I mean. So I wouldn't even know what's the actual mileage of this car, but I know right now it's over 200,000. So could it be that the car has done more than 50,000 or close to additional 100,000 that is not recorded before I got the car, or less? I don't know. You know. So I mean, in other words, 21 years vehicle that has done, well, for now I could say done over 200,000 kilometers, which could probably have exceeded it. I mean, this car is wonderful. I mean, it is. I mean, I love this car. Come on, let's take it. Damn it! Wow, man! Oh my, man! Come on. Woohoo! Yeah! Man, this guy is... Okay, back to the video, man. No, as it's a car you have and... I'm fighting now, man. Gosh! Let me catch my breath. Yeah, by catching my breath, I mean the goosebumps. Let it calm down. It was so exhilarating. I mean, you won't really understand until you own one. Until you have yours. Maybe the automatic could do, you know, I'm giving some. Okay, you could say maybe the definition of fun differs. But ability to be able to handle that power on your palms, be the one to control it and say, you know what, take it off, you know what, come back, you know what, off again. You know, just like you'll be doing, and all of a sudden you'll be like, okay, you wait for it, then the next thing, poof, off again. I mean, I don't know, if you're not into manual, you may not understand what I mean. If you're into manual, but it's not the gearbox is not attached to a powerful engine, you may not understand what I mean. You know, the thing is, this whole car, so well packaged. Not just the body, I mean, even the paint. Okay, what I've done was the roof. Is it the roof? I don't know what to call it. You know, I stay in the Abuja, so at the point the sun heated, affected it, so the paint faded here and the bonnet. So I took care of it, took it to someone, they painted it. That was like 2016, 2017. Other than that, every other part of the car, the headlights, the rear lights, everything is intact. I goddamn love this car. I I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, if you can, go and get yours now. I know some people are just into mobility, so they don't really care much. They will consider it as an old vehicle. Why would you go and buy a 21 years old vehicle? Are you insane? Well, somebody like me, I love driving, so it doesn't matter how old the vehicle is. What matters is the package, what the car can do, not what electronics I could wash or use in the vehicle. Those things are. It doesn't, even as much as I enjoy them once in a while, when I'm not, but when I'm actually, out there to have fun, I don't use them. It's that there are distractions, they will take off the fun. They could even kill you. I mean, when you focus more on these electronics, they will take your mind off the driving, and yours will end. So, if you can, get yours now. They are fading out of the market. In fact, even if it's not a V6, it could be, just get a very clean 406 and you enjoy it. You may not like to keep it for good. If you use it for a while, you can look for something else. I mean, there are other Peugeot vehicles that are fun, or maybe more fun, or way more performance packaged. And even if you're into automatics, they have automatics, 406. Except the maintenance cost is higher, obviously. The ATF costs so much. If you want to use cheaper ones, you can, except you have to be replacing your transmission every now and then, or repairing it. It may be too scary for you to travel with, considering that those are what's it called, 4HP20. They don't like heat. Hit it too much, push it as hard as this manual, you will see what it's going to do. It will just misbehave and mess you up on the journey or the drive. So they are good in their way to have fun. If you're into automatics, you probably enjoy it more than I do, because I'm not into them. So if you can, get yours. The price is still going up. It's not coming down. It's going up. And but make sure it's not an abused one. Don't go and buy an abused one and say, I deceived you to go and buy a nightmare. No, like I said, I've been enjoying mine. 21 years old. How many years now with me? And it's still run as if the car is just new, honestly. Yours is wear and tears every once in a while. I'm not complaining. Some people, they will always, sometimes they come to ask you a question, they're expecting you to tell them you are not the car. That's, in fact, what they are asking is, I hope the car will never ever break down. You'll be like, come on. Or they will expect, when you say, okay, the car once in a while put start face on me, or something, they will be like, are you saying hold on, move away from here. Okay, so it's like, are you looking for a car that you won't have to ever do any maintenance work on it? Because or probably that you're looking for a car that nothing should ever fail on that vehicle. So in other words, you want me to now say, I hate my Peugeot 406 because the car failed or broke down one particular time, some point something failed, so it means the car is not reliable, or because of that I should hate the car. Come on, it's like saying, I hate myself because I fell sick the other day. I hate myself because I feel sick once in a while, even though I will go and treat it and feel good again for months later, a year later, before maybe a malaria symptom comes, feverish headache or something comes, because I hate myself to ever feel sick. That's a very stupid thing people do or expect a vehicle to be for them. There are secrets that I am applying that is helping me enjoying this car. I've talked about them numerous times, so I'm not gonna keep wasting my time there. You do you, I do me. Whatever you do is no longer my business. I'm focusing on me right now, having fun. So get yours if you can, or get something similar. Don't buy a boring car. That's where I'm coming from. Don't buy a car that bores hell out of you. If you find yourself frustrated, depressed, and you have a car, it's time to change that car. That car is contributing, because trust me, if maybe your workplace the work is overwhelming or something, but you realize that every day you come back, you are done at your office or something, you get into your car to go home, you still have that depression on you or frustrated life on you, then like I said, get rid of that car, because it's not livening up your life. Not making you. If a car doesn't, you need to have a car that, even no matter the headache, no matter the stress, no matter this thing, no matter whatever issue that is going on in your life, challenges, problems, you jump into it, put it on drive, gear it into motion, all of a sudden they will just go away, as if as in those moments you even forget about them and you just experience happy life again. Even if it's as in my point is, car should be something you find interesting to be jumping into all the time. Even if maybe the nature of your work, you can't afford an interesting car, you just need point A to point B or point A to B vehicle. Maybe if you can get a second one, maybe for weekends, journeys that you can, maybe, no matter what, you'll be always looking towards, if it's weekend, okay, it's boring, but by weekend, man, I'm gonna enjoy life. Let me burn some fuel, have some fun. I don't know, man. I can only live my life. You get to find out how to live yours. The best I can do is show you how I'm living mine. Not everything, but at least to give you an idea. This is how it is. Doesn't mean, like I said, that I've never taken this car out. All of a sudden, maybe something happens. It broke down and I had to fix it with a sad face. Maybe at that moment, maybe what failed wasn't something I was financially ready to deal with at that time, or emotionally ready to deal with. Maybe, imagine if you're traveling and something broke down. It has nothing, that's not how you'll be emotionally happy about it. It's going to stress you, and no matter, even if you can afford to replace that thing, but the stress of looking for this and that, the car is parked, and you may even sleep over where the vehicle broke down. So all those things, you're not going to find it fun. But will you make me hate the car? Fuck no. Why would I do that? As if I've never been to a hospital. So it's expected. But I love this car, and it's mine, and the plan is it's going to be mine for good. So I hope we'll see what the future says about that. And I made the choice. You make yours. Hopefully yours is also making you happy. So if it is, good for you. If it's not, then do something about it. Even if it's not at that moment, plan towards it. You don't have to buy a car immediately if you don't like, at least you can always plan, at least have that intention that if you can, anytime you can, that you want to have this or that one, and wait for future and see what's going to happen. Rather than all you do is condemnation, you keep condemning, this and that, this guy is this, and when you want to get next time, be very careful, make your choice wisely, because everything is all about choice. Choose wisely. If you choose because it's too cheap, when you see things that are expensive and the cheaper ones, there are some cases where you follow your path of least resistance by going for something cheaper, depending on how you value what you want to buy, or Yeah, value, yeah, because there are some things you might say, I don't care much about this, so if it, no matter how cheap, I could manage. Or maybe at that time, man, no, I just can't. Or depending on the sensitivity of that, whatever, maybe a part of the vehicle you need to. For example, say you are going to go for cheap timing belt, doesn't matter how your financial strength at that time. If you can't afford original one, I will recommend you better pack that vehicle. It's not about, oh, I can't afford the original, this one I can afford, so let me buy. No, pack that vehicle, because if you go that route because it's cheaper, you can afford it. Guess what? By the time it damages your vehicle, you may end up spending 20 times of that original timing belt to fix what the fake one damaged on that vehicle. That's where I'm coming from. So sometimes there are some cheap, just be logical. I always say that, be logical on what you do. You see, you don't have to spend. You'll be surprised if I tell you how much I spent on this car ever since I owned it. You might be thinking, oh, I'll be blowing up all my income, whatever money I'm earning, in keeping it in good order. It's a lie. No. Just little amount of money, because I don't do things that make them to start, the things to start failing, giving me problem. Unlike people, what they do that make those cars to give issues because of things they do on them, not what they didn't do on them. Yeah, sometimes, for example, people put fake timing belts. Yeah, it's going to ruin your vehicle. So it's what you did on it that caused it. And if you're at the time that you're always looking for issues, taking it to somebody every time you have. I mean, like I said, the secrets have been there for years. I've wasted my time, years, pointing them out, even with all the insults that come with it while I'm doing it. But I'm done, doing all those things. So, because at a point, you got to realize, I got to live my life too. I have so many things I have in life to experience, rather than keep trying to help. Okay, so plan yours and whatever works for you. Yeah, I love mine, and I hope you love yours when you get it. If you have it already, I also want to believe you love yours. If you don't, find out why. If truly there's nothing you can do about it, maybe send it to somebody else who probably will love it like I love mine. Alright, bye.